Good morning, Gamecocks. I'm Chloe Findlay.
And I'm Meagan Daukshus. Chloe and I are here every week giving you a recap on the news and happenings on the USC campus and around Columbia. This week, USC School of Music celebrated its 100th anniversary.
We've also got a way for Gamecocks to get active on campus and enjoy the fall weather.
But first, we've got a recap of Wednesday evening's event put on by Uncensored America.
We hope to get your weekend started in the right direction. Welcome back to Good Morning Gamecocks. Good morning, Gamecocks. I'm Chloe Findlay.
And I'm Meagan Daukshus. In national news, it's Super Bowl weekend.
The goldfish, I am convinced, have different tastes to them.
I'm convinced they don't.
Oh, that's gotta be green. That's gross.
Nice job, Meagan.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right. Good morning, Meagan.
Good morning, Chloe.
Happy Friday.
I know. How are you feeling this Friday?
You know, I'm okay. I don't sound the best. We'll get that elephant out of the room. I don't sound that great, but I'm feeling really good. We've got some really good stories this week.
We do. Well, Gamecocks, we're going to kick it off with a recap of the Uncensored America speaker event from earlier this week.
Yeah, the quite controversial Uncensored America event titled The Roast of Kamala Harris occurred Wednesday night with heavy security presence and protests on Green Street.
Our very own Delaney Flanagan has the whole story. Take a listen.
Uncensored America's widely anticipated Roast of Kamala Harris was held last night, despite severe outcry from the Carolina community. The event's guest speakers included founder of the Proud Boys, Gavin McInnes, and far-right commentator Milo Yiannopoulos. Many Carolinians were angered by this event. A petition of 27,000 signatures was started to cancel it. Students, faculty, and alumni denounced the roast, saying the marketing and speakers go against the Carolinian creed. President Emeritus made a statement saying, quote, "We remain steadfast in safeguarding the First Amendment rights of our students, even when we may be offended by their choices and statements," end quote. The university did promise increased security for the event, according to a student senate recommendation. Student government also denied funding for the roast, which ultimately led to a lawsuit against the university by Uncensored America. During his speech, Yiannopoulos announced that he would also be suing 64 people for, quote, "their role in wrongfully denying them funds." The list includes the name of student senators and professors. McInnes and Yiannopoulos were still able to say,
"I swear to God, one more time, I'm going to jail for you,"
and do whatever they wanted to on stage.
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
And some students had different expectations of the event.
He spent like the majority of his time just slandering one girl, and like I could count on my fingers how many times he actually talked about Kamala.
Students who deemed Russell House unsafe during the roast were welcome to attend Blat Bonanza.
I agree that, the First Amendment and everything, everybody has their right to their own opinion and to say what they want, but it's not very inclusive.
USC Student Government and Carolina Productions held Blat Bonanza, a night of free food, games, music, and inflatables for students. Event organizers made it clear that this event was not to oppose the roast.
We are not meant to be a counter event, we're meant to be an alternative event. So if someone feels their calling to go to that event at Russell House, they're totally allowed to.
No message being sent needed. It's more so an event for our students to have a free and open space. So we're not here in the message business, we're here in the serving students business.
More than 1,000 students attended Blat Bonanza.
So actually we were just walking back from dinner, we heard the music, and we just wanted to go on the slides actually.
A new student organization, Uphold the Creed, is planning a protest to happen later today. SGTV will keep you updated. For SGTV, I'm Delaney Flanagan.
And as you can see, the most recent development there is that Uncensored America is suing several students and faculty members for their, quote, role in wrongfully denying funds, end quote, for the event. The organization announced that they have already filed a lawsuit against the university itself.
That's your breaking news for this morning. After the break, Chloe and I will be back with more campus news to kick off your weekend. Stay close. Welcome back. In state news, South Carolina has gotten approval on its new statewide cell phone policy. This policy will deny students of personal access to any devices like watches, iPhones, tablets, and gaming devices. Reason some of the students can keep their phones on their person is if they're a volunteer at a local firefighting organization or an EMS organization, medical or educational purposes, and they will have certain plans put in place for those students who will keep their phones on them.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I'm kind of curious to understand what, like, the thought process that came behind this policy, because obviously technology is such a big part of our everyday.
Yeah.
I even answer emails and check grades on my phone, so I'm curious to see kind of the thought process behind this.
Yeah, I will say in high school, like, we were allowed to use our phones, but we were more self-disciplined when using them. We didn't just sit in class on our phone the whole time, but if we were given the option to listen to music or to use our phone calculator or just a little bit of free time if we finished our work early, we were allowed to. And I think because our teachers put in that kind of, policy that they had for their own classroom, we gave the respect back. But it seems like it's gotten out of hand where the state has to take care of it. So the state superintendent said, quote, "Research and feedback show that the widespread use of smartphones in schools have created serious academic, mental health, and discipline challenges," end quote.
Yeah, I can see that. We've talked about before on this show some of the detrimental effects specifically for mental health when it comes to technology and smartphones.
Yeah.
So I can see the understanding there, but I don't know if I quite agree with getting rid of it completely.
Yeah, that's how I feel too on this subject, because technology is so important, I feel like, in learning now, that you need to learn how to use technology to move along in the world. But I guess maybe if it was like a school issued, that would be different. If everyone had a school issued tablet or laptop, we never had that in high school until our senior year. Once COVID hit, we had school issued laptops. But a lot of school, like we were in a school that had the money to provide us with those things. But I think schools more regularly giving people tablets and laptops. So I think it'd be good to have them learn through that technology through like a locked down type of thing, so they're not just texting.
Yeah.
So, but you did mention like how you felt that if this would work out or whatnot. They actually put out a statewide poll in that all the students filled out from pre-K up into 12th grade of high school, and honestly, what they got back, the feedback they got back from that, is very against phones in the classrooms and in schools. So I guess because they're hearing from the students themselves, that's also why it's being put into place.
Yeah, and I can also see how some students might feel like legitimately addicted to it, and they can't make the change themselves.
Yeah.
And so this could be the type of thing that can just push them along a little bit.
Yeah, I think it also just starts with they had more technology growing up as a child. They could have been just one of the kids who got an iPad thrown in front of them. We didn't have that as much. I mean, I didn't probably start using a tablet until I was in elementary school, is when they start kind of really coming out. And I think they just don't understand how to self-discipline. So maybe this will teach them that. And I'm looking forward to seeing how it would work out. The South Carolina Department of Education recently released Free to Focus. It's a website explaining the policy, why it's important to a child's learning process, along with the statistics I mentioned earlier of the South Carolina students who showed how cell phones have affected their educational career. The page also will give guidance and explanation to those who have questions about the new policy. And the new policy is coming in to be instituted in schools January 2025, so pretty soon.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how students and teachers react to something like this.
Me too, yeah.
Well, this past week, the USC School of Music celebrated its 100th anniversary. Since starting back in the swing of the Great Depression, Dean Taylor Harding says the program has been through many eras. For example, it wasn't for a few decades until the marching band became an essential part of athletics as we know it today. And obviously you're part of the band, so you can speak more to the importance of having that there at the football games. It's
super important, especially that our marching band is now being funded by athletics, that we have had money to get, newer uniforms and newer equipment and more rentals that like students can rent out for their instruments. And with us being under the athletics, also gave us the opportunity to march in Macy's this year like we are, and they're helping us with funding and helping with the fundraising and whatnot. And you know, an athletic director will come talk to us every year. Obviously, it'll be different next year, but we did have Ray Tanner come and speak to us my 4 years during our band camp process, and I think it's super important to be involved that way.
Yeah, I'm glad that the marching band is really getting the love, the mighty sound of the Southeast, right?
Yeah.
Athletic contests, especially football games, they're not the same without that.
I don't think so. Yeah. And we create some of that energy. We bring it. I mean, the fans bring it, but so do we.
It's first brought by the band, then reciprocated by the fans. Yeah, but it was later within the music school's history that it was officially called the School of Music around the 1970s. But yeah, it went through several eras, and it's celebrating its 100th anniversary. And I'm pretty sure you performed.
Yeah, so
right?
This past Friday, last Friday, we had a celebration at the Koger Center where different people throughout the school performed for those who have donated to the College of Music, the School of Music, excuse me. And so we had like the jazz band and like small parts of the marching band went, and then the whole marching band was there, and we all performed outside as everyone walked outside to leave for the night. And it's a different experience when you're performing in front of people who really appreciate music. It's a good feeling to perform in front of everyone in Williams-Brice Stadium, but those who really appreciate what we're doing and the effort we put in, and the cheers that you hear from those, it feels good. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, and now with the music school being in its modern era, it's changing lives. A third-year music student, Ellie Hawthorne, who plays in the Carolina Band, also in some of the wind ensembles on campus, says that her time with the program has been invaluable. Quote, "I wouldn't trade it for the world because I get to spend all this time with the people I love, doing what I love, which is making music, teaching music, and being in the music." Yeah,
I think it's great. I know a lot of our students in the Carolina Band are music majors of some kind of sort, or voice majors, and it's crazy how broad of a spectrum that the music school offers for these students. I mean, even their grad programs are really good. We have our graduate staff in our marching band that helps us out, and they're still taking classes too, and they're grad assistants, but they're taking they're trying to get their masters in wind conducting, these really specific niche things, and that we offer that, and we have the professors that are so capable of teaching that. It's just so cool, and I feel like School of Music's put a little bit in the shadows here on campus. You you hear about Darla, you hear about the journalism school, in our sport and entertainment management school, but you don't hear about the School of Music. And I guess it's the same thing going where arts don't get as much appreciation, but they offer so much, they're doing so much, and the people leaving this university with the degrees they're getting in that school are doing amazing things.
Yeah, and I'm glad with this 100th birthday celebration that it's getting some of the love it deserves.
Yeah. Well, we hope your morning is off to a great start. We'll be back to share a fun way to get outside this fall. You don't want to miss it. Welcome back. We've got a super fun way for Gamecocks to get active.
Meagan and I went on a walk earlier this week, and we made sure to walk by all of our favorite campus landmarks.
Yeah, we tracked our steps to walk just over a mile, so it's an easy walk that only takes 20 to 30 minutes out of your day.
Take a look at the way we got active this week. Maybe you'll be inspired and want to retrace our steps.
Hey Gamecocks, get ready to get active. We have a mile-long walk for y'all around campus to get active throughout the week, so come along with us.
First stop on the walk, the iconic coffee statue, right by Davis College. Got to give them a tap on the beak for good luck your semester.
So this is our third stop on our walk over here at the Emmys buildings. If you need to take a little break, we've got some tables and chairs out here to take a little rest, and maybe grab a Starbucks on your walk as well.
arrived at Capstone House. Now we're about to turn around and go back to the other side of the campus to visit the horseshoe.
All right, Gamecocks, we have stopped. We passed the spot that we usually see the cat figure around at. He's not out today, but you might see him on your walk around. So now we're gonna head to the horseshoe and make sure to take a look at that cat when you're walking.
We're at our next stop. We're on the Pickens Street Bridge. We're almost 3/4 of a mile done. We're about to head to the horseshoe, which is the most historic part of campus.
And we're gonna loop to the right around the circle up there. So come along with us. We're at our next stop right at the beginning of the horseshoe at the McKissick Museum. If you want to take a stop during your walk inside, right now they have an exhibit going on for the Gamecock old cocky mascot costumes. They're super cool, a little creepy, but I recommend y'all go check it out while you're on your walk.
Made it to our studio. We're at the Kennedy Greenhouse studio right next to the School of Journalism. If you come by Friday mornings around 8 o'clock, that on-air sign, you'll see it blinking red because we'll be filming every Friday. So if you want to come walk by while we're in the studio, feel free.
We're almost done with our walk. We're outside Thomas Cooper Library Fountain right now, better known as, and we're gonna make our little walk right back to Russell, and then we're done for the day.
So we're back at Russell House. We've just finished our about a little over 1 mile walk around campus. We hope you enjoyed our little scenic tour of campus.
And go get active, Gamecocks. Welcome back, everyone. We're back with a little podcast throwback history time with Caroline to tell us another history story.
It's so great to be back.
I'm so excited to have you up here on the stage.
It's so great to be back in the studio. This is my first time on camera for Good Morning Gamecocks,
yes,
so that's pretty exciting. This is my GMG debut, guys.
Yay.
Okay.
No pressure.
No pressure at all.
Pressure at
well,
all.
The thing that I've got to talk to you guys today is I found some fun facts about the history of the Emmys, because the Emmy Awards just happened last weekend. Those were on Sunday night. Sunday?
Yep.
Yeah. Sunday night? Yeah. I did not watch them because I don't think I have access to whatever like streaming service, or I definitely don't have cable. So
yeah.
I don't think I had a method to watch them. And I was probably busy doing homework, if I'm being honest. But I was still interested in the Emmys and what it is and what went on. So I looked up some fun stuff and I wrote down some fun facts to share with y'all. So any guesses on how old the Emmys is? How long's it been around?
Probably a while.
Yeah, a hot second. We're coming up on like 70, 80 years that we've had the Emmys. The first Emmys were on January 25th, 1949.
Okay.
Yeah, so like right
that's
at
like old, but like my papa was older than that.
yeah, like it's like right at the time of like the dawn of television is now a thing that people are used to in their homes.
That's true.
So at this time, I mean, a staggering number of Americans still did not have a television in their home yet. We were still under 1 million, like in the house TVs, but they still had the Emmys, they still had television, that people had television, there was stuff playing on it, and we got to award the people who make great stuff. So if you went to the Emmys in 1949, you paid $5 for your ticket.
Wow.
That's just so hard to believe, because now when you think of the Emmys, you think of all the A-list celebrities, and you know
you're being invited.
Yeah, you have
exactly.
to be
You
invited.
don't just go.
Yeah, they're not sold to the general public. And if you are invited by the Academy to attend the Emmys today, you still have to pay upwards of about $2,000 for your ticket.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like the Met Gala, where like you have to be invited, but you still have to pay.
Yeah.
You have to pay an arm and a leg for the ticket that you buy to show up. So. Yeah, but $5 for your ticket. That's like less than a Ticketmaster fee to buy a ticket to at the Coker Center right now. Like,
but I guess $5 then was probably a lot more, probably like upwards closer to like what, $20? Like what do you think the conversion on that would be?
I don't know, I didn't look that up.
But I'm curious.
Still like a lot less than what they charge now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that first ceremony took place in January of 1949. It was at the Hollywood Athletic Club. It took place in Los Angeles, and in order to participate in the Emmys, they only sampled from like LA area shows. So all the shows and things that won awards were all based in Los Angeles, and you had to be based in Los Angeles to be eligible to be awarded.
That's interesting.
So how did it eventually expand to become like this national?
That happened over the course of like the next 30 to 40 years. Like television really boomed in American households in like the 50s and the 60s, and there was more going on. So it was like along that span of time. And there were consistent updates to the way the Emmys were done, but the next time a major update happened was in like the 80s. So yeah, it very swiftly expanded from just LA. But to become the Emmys that we have today probably took 40, 50-ish years of renovations to figure that out. So at the first Emmys ever, there were only 6 awards that were given.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
There were only 6.
Now it seems like there's like
so many they don't even show them on TV.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's so many they literally don't have time to air them all.
Like a single movie has won more than 6 this year.
Yes, exactly. In fact, the most awarded show for the Emmys ever is Shogun, which is a current one. That's a Hulu show. FX made it. Is there only one season out?
I think it's new.
Yeah.
It's one of the new ones.
It's definitely newer.
Yeah, so I think it might still be at one season. They're definitely like renewing it for more because of how many awards that it made. But Shogun made history this year at the Emmys by winning 4 awards during the ceremony. That would have been 2/3 of the Emmys the first year they had it. So it won 4 this year, so their total is now 18 wins. So it's the most awarded drama series in a single year, but it's also the most awarded series like in any category.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that because I haven't really ever heard of the show before. Like, I would think it'd be something that's been long running, like, I don't know, SNL or like, I don't know, The Simpsons or something like that. Those like TV shows that have been going on forever.
Yeah, it's like something kind of new. I'll admit I've never watched it, but I have lots of friends who have, and everyone I know who's watched it has said that it's excellent. Like everything from just casual viewers looking for something to put on their TV to people who like analyzing television and film, looking into the accuracy of the costumes and the language and the set, and it's historically based. It's set in like the turn of the 1900s in Japan. That's a very niche time and location, and people seem to be really like they think it's really good.
Well, considering it won 4 Emmys,
won 4 Emmys this year.
It was probably
it's
pretty
probably
popular.
pretty great. Yeah, I only watched the first episode mostly because I ran out of time at the end of last semester when it was getting released, and then I forgot about it. But I'm glad to be reminded. I think I'll have to go back and watch it.
To go back.
Yeah, now that it's proved by the Academy to be one of the best shows ever, I think I have to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So of those 6 awards, the first Emmys, one of those 6 was given to a guy named Louis McManus. He designed the statue.
And it stayed the same.
It stayed the same all that time. A lot has
so
changed
fun.
about the Emmys and the way they've evolved, but the statue has always looked like that. It's always been that lady, and that's a model of his wife, and she's holding like an electron.
Oh.
Right? That's that crazy thing that she's holding. And the reason for that is this is another really fun fact, and they kind of tie together. So in the end, the name Emmy was chosen for this award ceremony. It was almost called Tilly from television.
Okay.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So the name Emmy, this was a feminization of the nickname Immy, I-M-M-Y, and an Emmy, that was the colloquial nickname for something called an image orthicon tube. This was a vital component of television cameras at the time. So that was the part that captured the video itself. So in the tubes, electron beams scanned across the image of the scene to be focused on the target. So that's why she's holding an electron.
That's
cool.
cool.
Really cool. Isn't it so cool to kind of learn how cameras work?
Yeah.
I mean, we've got so many cameras, even in this studio right now, and you don't think much of it. You just press the button.
Right.
Well, they don't do that anymore.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
The technology has advanced just a little bit.
You're not rolling film anymore and cutting it up yourself. But it's so cool that's the reason for that statue. You know?
Yeah, I tried to look into the image orthicon tube. Like I pulled up the Wikipedia page for that and immediately went down a rabbit hole and wasted like 10 minutes this morning when I was trying to write the script. But it's very complicated. Like I highly recommend y'all to like find that page and read about it a little more. That was kind of all I had. But yeah, in the end, the name Emmy was chosen, and that name was suggested by pioneer television engineer Harry Lubka, who was the president of the Academy in 1949.
Oh, cool. Okay, what is the Academy? It seems like that's this elusive.
It's like the National Academy of Television Awards. Isn't that the full name? Looking at our producer behind the camera. It's National Academy of something. And it's been around like for kind of as long as Hollywood has. And it's been their job to like standardize the quality of things and then judge the quality of said things. So
now
they've been doing awards.
Is
for
the
kinda
Academy the same Academy that is through like the Emmys and the Oscars?
It's all the same Academy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's all the same thing. So back to the first Emmys. The first Emmy ever given to anyone was given to a woman named Shirley Dinsdale. Her Emmy was for Most Outstanding Television Personality.
I love that.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Because her show was really, really, really popular. Also, this would like never happen now, but one of the 6 Emmys was given to like a news television station. Because it was the first TV station west of the Mississippi, and it was KTLA in Los Angeles.
Interesting.
Oh,
okay.
So
that's awesome.
That was very pioneering of them because they had the network on the East Coast and people who lived on the West Coast just had to deal with East Coast news, but that was like the first West Coast or just anywhere west of the Mississippi television station.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe SGTV can win an Emmy one day.
That'd be awesome.
High hopes.
Maybe. I mean, keep expectations high, right?
Then we can create our own awards.
Our own. Well, we have
And
the
we call
Best
it-
of Carolina.
That's true.
We
so
do.
that kind of is our version of the Emmys, I guess.
Yeah, local Columbia Emmys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last fun fact that I have for y'all: there has been one first lady who has won an Emmy. Any guesses on who it is? Makes a lot of sense.
No.
It's Jacqueline Kennedy.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, her husband was a famous celebrity before, so.
That's Nancy Reagan.
No. JFK?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was very, very well known,
He was
very
a very known
popular,
celebrity,
very
yeah.
popular president. But yeah, like Ronald Reagan was like an actor before he was president. So like that was going to be my guess. If I was like, well, if anybody
what
had
I was
to,
kind of thinking,
right? Yeah,
too.
like that's the track that you would think. But no, it was Jackie Kennedy. She won an Emmy in 1962 for a television special in which she took America on a tour of the White House.
Oh, wait, that's so fun.
And it was televised. So it was an extremely popular special because we're learning the lives of like high society in general, and especially the president. That is still really interesting. Yeah. And the Kennedys were just so popular. They were a beautiful family. People were really interested in them and the way that they lived. So Jackie Kennedy won an Emmy for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Perfect. That is all the fun facts that I have for y'all. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about the Emmys.
Of course, yeah. We appreciate you getting up on stage.
Yeah.
And coming in front of the camera for
Great
for
to
a
be back
second.
in front of the camera. It's been a couple of months.
After the break, Megan and I will be back with one more full story to wrap up your week, so stay close. Welcome back, everyone. Now we did fact check some of the things that we said in the last segment. And the academy that does the Emmys is a different academy from the Oscars. They are not the same.
Yeah.
But moving on, it's family weekend here in South Carolina, and the university has lots of events planned. USC is hosting complimentary State House tours, different information sessions within each college, and lots of events with free food and giveaways. If your parents are in town, make sure to check with your respective colleges to see what events are happening, and check out the sc.edu website for more information on the whole weekend.
Now, I do have a little funny story of my sophomore year. We had Parents Weekend, and they have a bunch of stuff going on Green Street. And I was walking to the studio or to the office to go work on something. And I'm walking there, and you know how Dawn Staley just shows up to everything? She's that kind of person, love it. I'm walking, I'm like having a bad day, like I got my head down, I'm just walking. I bump into Dawn Staley herself, and then just keep walking, and then I'm like, oh my God, that was so mean. And I like turn around, I'm like, sorry, and it was Dawn Staley. Because she's here to meet the parents, and I was just like,
that's awesome.
Funny tidbit.
That's awesome.
So that's my family weekend story, but super exciting to have all the Gamecocks bring their parents out here and show them what it's like to be on campus.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy weekend.
That's for sure. Well, with that, we wrap up Good Morning Gamecocks for today, September 20th, 2024.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at SGTV at USC.
To keep up with all of our content, be sure to also visit us online at sgtv@usc.com. For SGTV, I'm Meagan Daukshus.
And I'm Chloe Findlay. From all of us here at SGTV, have a great weekend, Carolina. Forever to thee.